Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I've got one wish as we welcome you to our Wednesday installment of the program with Hays Carlyon and JJ LaSelva. I'm Frank Frangie. I'm going to make a recommendation to Lee Smith when he stops by, the executive director of the Players, that they play this event every week.
Yes. That would be lovely.
What a vibe when you come out here. You're in a good mood. You know what I mean? Everybody's in a good mood.
It's almost like you're in a different world.
It is. For 1 week, it's a different world. I mean, you get up there, you feel better, you get dressed, you're getting in and out of the shower, you feel in a good mood, you drive out here. Now, I haven't been on that A1A traffic yet.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad at all today.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, when the tournament starts, it'll kick up. But, look, they've done all they can to help with that. I mean, again, we've talked about, Nakati shuttles are great, ride share, carpool. But what a venue and just another spectacular day.
Yeah, I mean,
it looks like we're going to have it all week.
Yeah, great weather, low 70s, not a cloud. Literally, I'm not exaggerating, not a cloud in the sky. Little bit of breeze, but not much of one. And it was never hot today. It was never cold today. The weather's just perfect. So it's a perfect day with perfect weather. And so we love being out here. And this is the eve of the tournament. A lot of practice, a lot of guys out here today. Bigger crowd than I might have expected today. It was crowded today. And I wouldn't have expected it to be quite as crowded as it was.
Practice rounds, I think, are always cool for spectators to come out to because of how the venue is constructed. So it's an easy course to walk. They've also done a magnificent job. This has always been the case since the renovation, but they've got, you can watch them on the driving range, you can watch them chip, the putting green. It's all right there. So I mean, you can watch these guys warm up. Obviously, you can watch them in their practice round. They do a great job of updating the fans on where everybody is. So I mean, it's Tuesday and Wednesday are good days to come out here. And, there's also not that level of stress. So the players are way more interactive because obviously the competition hasn't begun.
Yeah, but it was a fun day today. I mean, a beautiful day today. I got a lot of things to get to. I went by and watched number 6 for a while. If you don't, you've heard us talk about it, but essentially number 6 is not a particularly difficult. It's a short par 4, okay? It's not a particularly difficult hole. So they put a tree back that used to be there. I don't know how they did it. It's a gigantic oak tree.
It was an incredible process.
And you tell us about it. You saw it. They did something on television
live from the Players last night on the Golf Channel did a segment on it, and it was really interesting because Davis Love III was in charge of the project, and they found in the swamp somewhere in here, they found almost a replica of the tree. And so they dug it out. And when I say dug it out, I mean, you're talking probably a 15-foot radius of soil around this thing. And they put it on. The first time they did it, it didn't take because they didn't have enough soil to support it. So they tried it again on the second attempt. It worked. And, I mean, I don't think you could tell the difference. It is amazing
you couldn't tell,
how they found another tree that grew, towards the sun the same way that the tree that they lost on 6, 10 years ago. Yeah. It really is. It's incredible.
And here's why it matters. If you're wondering why, okay, imagine this. There's the tee box, and then this tree, the base of this tree is on the right side of the fairway. Lee will tell us specifically, but I'm going to guess 30 yards from the tee box, 30, 40 yards, and a low branch now hangs from this. The tree leans over a little bit. It leans to the left. It's on the right side of the fairway. The tree leans to the left a little bit, and then a branch reaches out and is right across the fairway. And it goes all the way across. I don't know how high in the air it is.
The lowest point is 19 feet. The middle of it is around 22 feet.
Okay, so it's 20. I would have guessed higher. So it's roughly 20 feet. So you got to hit it under that. And I watched some of the players do that. It was really cool. Now, for them, it's easy. But it's fun watching the players navigate that today. It's something different. It's not. I thought it might look gimmicky. It doesn't. It just looks like an impediment in the golf course.
It honestly looks like exactly how it looked prior to losing the original tree. It's incredible. And what a cool engineering feat.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this is a full-grown tree. I mean, this is not
it's a very big.
It was
amazing.
I
guess it's an oak tree, right? Oak tree? It looks like an oak tree.
Seeing the amount of ground that they brought with it to transport it. So really cool story.
Yeah, it really is. So we'll certainly talk about golf. Again, Lee Smith will be here in about 15 minutes or so, and he is the executive director. He'll be with us every day at 4:20. I say every day, today, tomorrow, and Friday. He was on earlier with the Primetime Gang, I think, and he'll be on through various of the shows throughout the course of the rest of the week. So we'll certainly talk about that today. Look forward to the Players' Championship. We do our loser money pick. 8 events this year. Okay, 8 events this year. We told you what they are. 5 are golf. Some basketball. It's going to be an awful lot of fun. And so that comes.
I like the condensed schedule.
Yeah.
I think I'm also going to really appreciate it when I lose 6 of these 8 things.
Yeah, and I took, by the way, you know when I think I took the draft out. Remember, we used to do the draft.
We used to do the draft,
but
yeah.
The draft, that was almost kind of silly.
Yeah.
So we took the NFL draft out. All right, so we'll certainly talk about the course today. It is green. It is beautiful. We'll certainly get to that coming up on the program today. The other big news, the other 2 stories around in our area right now are the Jags in their class and in the group. And the one question we have not yet asked about the Jags, and I want to get to it, right now, and I'll even factor in 2 or 3 draft picks, and we'll say they turn out pretty good. How good is the football team? We don't answer it yet. But one thing we haven't said is, okay, are they better or are they worse? How good is the roster today compared to the roster January 3rd? How good's the roster today compared? We haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
And again, we'll do it again after the draft, and we'll talk about it during OTAs. And so we'll talk a lot about that.
By the way, happy new league year. It is 4 o'clock.
It is.
The new NFL league year has begun.
It is
so
official.
Happy new league year,
Again,
everybody.
It can be a little bit anticlimactic.
We are undefeated.
Exactly right. It can be a little bit anticlimactic. We'll certainly talk about that coming up in the program today. So the big stories around here in Jacksonville, the Players' Championship this week, the Jaguars' Hall of Free Agents, if you will. Hays, the other story that affects all of us is the Gator basketball team, and are they going to win a national championship? So I'm going to ask a question today. If they win the whole thing, okay, where do they go? Where does this group go down in Gator lore? Now, they will have become the 6th team to win a national title in football and basketball. They'll be number 6. So, and with all due respect to baseball and softball and track and golf and gymnastics and the Gators have won titles in all of them. The ones that matter most are football and basketball. So my question is, where will this team rank among the 6, assuming they win it?
I would say 5th, because
Okay.
I've got to put the 3 footballs, 1, 2, 3. For me, it would be 96, followed by probably 08, then 06. So for me, it would be that. And I would put the first Florida basketball championship team over this one. Interestingly enough, I'd put the team that defended, because that was almost a year of relief.
Right.
There was joy in that title run. Don't get me wrong, but they were such the overwhelming favorite from the first practice of preseason until the final game that it just felt like, from a fan standpoint, that what happens if they lose this? What if they don't get it done with everybody coming back? And so once they did it, it was pure joy. But there was so much, I think, stress involved in that, so that one would be last for me, because the first title team, really, I mean, again, they were a 3 seed. We were optimistic, but I don't think anybody thought that they were going to be the last team standing that year.
And you could realistically, if you talk about how they're remembered and appreciated in Gator lore, you could probably lump the two title teams together. I wouldn't lump 6 and 8 football together, because 8 was Tebow's team.
Right.
6, Tebow was on the team.
Right.
But
it was Leake's team.
But 8 was Tebow's team. And so those are 2 different teams. The 96 team stands on its own. So you can almost sort of lump. And how will they be remembered versus some other teams that maybe didn't win all of it? You know, how will they, whether it's basketball teams, but it's just an interesting comparison. I would not have had this topic to that extreme if I now didn't find myself thinking there's a chance they're going to win the national championship. And
they're like the second or third betting favorite.
Yeah,
I mean,
right. And they should be.
They're not a Cinderella at all.
No,
they will be the
Yeah.
absolute favorite in every game they play until they get to San Antonio, and even then, they could be a favorite in the national semifinal and even the national title game, depending on who's there. I think other than maybe Auburn and Duke, I don't think Florida would be an underdog to anybody.
Yeah, Auburn has the most accomplished schedule because of all the quad one wins and how well they did in a pretty brutal non-conference schedule. So they're the most accomplished in that regard, okay? And nobody will debate that. But in terms of mid-season on wins of significance, play of significance, Florida trumps everybody. Florida, beating Tennessee by 30 points, winning at Auburn, winning at Alabama, those 3 games. And I know Tennessee turned around and beat them by 20, but I'm talking about the way people felt about those 3 wins after they happened. I don't think anybody else has that. Now, maybe one of the reasons Auburn doesn't have that is they were so damn good that you expected them to do it. Auburn rolled some people too and probably didn't get enough credit for it because you just expected it. And Florida, you weren't quite every one of those games. I will tell you, I thought they would beat Tennessee at home, but I didn't think they'd win by 30. I picked them to lose the next. You didn't. You picked them to win, but I picked them to lose that Auburn and Alabama game. So, and I don't think I was in the minority. Those were road games. They were underdogs in the game. Yeah. So
again, this Florida basketball team, at the early part of the season, they were not in the top 20.
Yeah.
So that's I've been part of the euphoria of this run. Is you kind of thought that they'd make the tournament, they'd make the field comfortably, but probably as a 6 or a 7 seed.
Right.
That was probably going to be the season that you're in store for. So for a team that wasn't in the top 20 to start the year, it's remarkable the season that they've had, and we've talked about it. How often does everything go right?
That's right.
Everything's gone right.
Yeah, that's exactly.
They've had a couple injuries here and there, but in terms of the guys that you were depending on to take big steps forward, they all did.
And Walter Clayton today became the first player in Florida history to be a first-team AP All-American. Now, Neil Walk in 1969 was the second overall pick in the NBA draft. But back then they picked a center, 2 forwards, and 2 guards, and this guy named Lou Alcindor was there too, so he wasn't the starting center. It's not like they didn't pick the 5 best players. Like if it was today, he would have been one of the best players. He was the second pick in the draft, and nobody came out early, so he was the second best player. But as far as first team AP All-Americans, isn't it wild that they've never had one? They've never.
Honestly, I don't think it's that wild. It's incredible. Look, there's 357 Division I schools. It's only 5 guys. Think of all the players that play D1 basketball, and to be one of the 5 selected to the first team All-American team.
Yeah, you're right.
That is unbelievably difficult.
Yeah.
So Florida certainly has had talent, but even in the Donovan era, they were always constructed from a team standpoint.
I agree. Well, and that, by the way, is the answer, what you just said. But you would think with 2 titles, 3 title games, 5 Final Fours, and 9 Elite Eights, somewhere in there there'd be one. Again, they've been to 5 Final Fours. They've been to 9 Elite Eights. They've won 2 titles, and they've been to 3 title games. But nonetheless, so congratulations, by the way, to Walter. What a great Gator he has been. Again, as far as college basketball players go, I'm not going to say he's the greatest Gator ever, but my goodness, he's in the conversation.
Yeah.
My goodness, he's in. And again, all the guys on the 06, 07 teams won national titles. I get that, and they didn't stand out as much because there were 3 or 4 of them, and I understand that. But what a magnificent Florida Gator he has been.
Without a doubt, and it's funny that we're having this conversation because I was going to ask you this in headlines, but I'll ask you now. Should Florida basketball start a Ring of Honor?
Yes.
Because they don't have one, as far as I know.
Yeah,
I've never heard of it.
Well, that's a yes.
Yeah, and
that's an easy yes.
Yeah, and you have to think that Walter Clayton Jr. would be in that first what they usually do 4 to kind of start things off. It's he is certainly deserving. So
absolutely right. So all right, we got a lot to talk about. So we'll talk some basketball, talk some football. I got a college football question for you coming up a little bit later on in the program as well. A lot of fun stuff to get to. But when we come back, our friend Lee Smith stops by. He's the executive director of the Players Championship. We'll talk players. We're a day away. That's next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Hays Carlyon here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish family, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
A symphony of sweat, grit, and glory. Dive into the action and live the moments. For play-by-play, it's 1010XL.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harold and Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold and Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, you know, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass. He told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm Mac with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Florida heat is no joke. Is your air conditioner ready for it? At Duck Duck Air Conditioning, we've got a crazy offer just for you. We're giving away free AC inspections to our wonderful customers who now call and schedule. One of our expert techs will come look at your AC unit and make recommendations to ensure it's running at peak performance. But you must act today. A deal this good won't last forever. Call 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Air Conditioning. DuckDuckAC.com. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
New year, new club. This is Joe C., and I'm proud to be a member of Southampton. And with the popularity of golf, getting a tee time is tough. But with membership comes member privileges. Enjoy clubhouse dining, expanded practice area, focusing on all parts of your game. And right now, you can join with an annual commitment and get a $1,000 discount, plus $500 of Pro Shop credit. All the details are online at golfsouthampton.com or call 287-PLAY and make a tee time today at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Who will win the Players? Hello Windows and Doors presents the 1010XL Players You Pick'em contest. Go to 1010XL.com and pick who you think will win this year's tournament. You could win $1,000 in jewelry from Beard's Diamonds. Go to 1010XL.com today.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about not looking at the rear-view mirror of unforgiveness. It's so easy to keep looking in the past when someone has hurt or offended us. What we don't realize is that if we keep looking at the rear-view mirror of anger, it will cause us to miss out on the good things that God has in store right in front of us. Friends, looking in the rear-view mirror of the past will never give you peace in the present.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com. Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Hacker here, and as most of you know, I'm now in Awaken 180's free maintenance support for life. 122 pounds gone, and that number on the scale hasn't crept up a pound. I didn't just choose Awaken 180 because of the weight loss. I chose Awaken 180 to keep the weight off. I wasn't going to put in the work, the highs, the achievements, just to watch it slip away after the program stopped. I wanted a solution, and boy, I sure found it. Awaken 180 is life-changing and life-altering. Over 120 pounds down in just 10 months. Now I'm in the maintenance program. I still get the coaching that I need. I still get the motivation that got me 120 pounds down, and I'm not gaining it back. If it's time for you to lose the weight like it was for me, go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
I'm glad you're with us. We're live at the Players Championship. Man, what a gorgeous day here today. Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon. Our buddy Lee Smith is the executive director out here. You ordered this up, bro. Okay. God almighty.
The master.
Lucky. Still got the fingers crossed and the star from last year.
I mean, look. This is a good mood time for us. So we're always wanting to talk about how good the weather is, even sometimes it's not as perfect. You'll never beat this. I mean, it's 72 degrees. There's literally not a cloud. There's not much breeze. It is perfect.
No, this is perfect for a lot of things.
Yeah,
Frank, as we were talking a little bit off air. This is perfect for golf. This is perfect to watch golf, and maybe even more perfect for selling apparel because people need outerwear in the morning, and then when you see them right now, they're carrying it around, and here in about 2 hours when the sun starts to go down, they'll put it back on. So, no, it's great for us to see a lot of sunshine after a lot of rain that we got Sunday and Monday to dry the golf course out a little bit, and obviously to control the playability as we move into round one tomorrow.
I want to get back to the fan shop. I said this on the air yesterday. I'm an idiot, and I've seen it. I mean, but I get out here, we do our thing and watch golf and do shows, and I've never walked in it. It's Dick's Sporting Goods. It's as big. It's an airport hangar. I had no idea how big, how vast, how gorgeous, the amount of stuff in there. And obviously, your wife Sue, who we met, is very involved in building it and running it. But I had no idea, man. It's gigantic. What? And it's packed, by the way, which means people have to love it, right?
No, look, I think it folds into, and talk about the fan shop, a couple of bullets in a second, but I think the amount of people in there folds into the support that this event has, and the growing support that we continue to see in the momentum of the Players Championship and those types of things as we go full circle. And then in the fan shop, 40,000 square feet. We have 51 different vendors in there. We've got ladies section that are clearly defined. Hays, I think you said it with the signage. Just points to I can go in there. Arrows pointing you where to go, and go into the kids section and the kind of small amenities section. Those types of things. So it's fantastic. We're expecting about 55,000 transactions.
Wow!
Last year we sold 49,000 hats. Out of there in this particular week, so it's a fun. The other part, Frank, about that is that we've intentionally worked with some local brands that have come along. Lafarve, and Flow Motion to name a couple that have been super, super popular when you put 904 on things and do it in a really cool way like LaFarve does. They've done a really, really good job for us and been great to work with.
It's also really cool in the fan shop. Gene and I were buying some stuff in there yesterday, and as you kind of go through checkout, which is very quick, there's Ricky Fowler celebrating 10 years. When I say there's a nice signage of Ricky Fowler celebrating 10 years of his triumph. There's Fred Fung. Really cool just to kind of tie in the history and some really important anniversaries from this great tournament.
Absolutely, Hays. Thank you. It's that was an intentional, not that it hasn't been done in the past, but really an intentional focus for us leading into this year to take all of those historical and anniversary champions and lean into them as much as we can. And starting with Al Geiberger, 50 years, there's signage and acknowledgments and branding with that. Lee Trevino is going to be here this evening and going to be on site Thursday, Friday. It's his 45th anniversary. Calvin Pete, big story that was done on the Golf Channel, celebrating his upbringing and how he got to playing golf with his arm ailment and those types of things. 25 years for Hal Sutton. He's going to be on site Thursday, Friday. We've got a special pin flag. His whole location, pin flag says "Be the Right Club" today.
Which is just fantastic.
And in the corner of the pin flag. Let's see, Fred Funk, 20 years. He's going to be on site. Tim Clark, his 15-year anniversary. During that tournament on Saturday, he holed out on number 6. So we're going to use that whole location, the exact hole location that he holed out. Ricky Fowler is 10-year, obviously, in the field. And we're going to, his amazing shot that almost landed on the railroad tie on 16 to a front right for him to make eagle. We're going to use that whole location on Sunday. So, really a lot to celebrate and a lot to acknowledge. And I think everybody can expect that, for years to come.
I mean this sincerely, Lee. I really appreciate your ability to embrace the romance of the history of this thing, because you haven't been here very long. That's really cool. I mean, that you did your homework, but you feel it, don't you?
Absolutely.
I sensed that last year with you. That you're new to town, you're new to the event, but it's almost like you've been as long as we have. I mean, the romance of the heritage is a big deal to you. It's a big deal to people here, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think you look at, let's say, the golf course that we play on, right, Frank? The history and the evolution of bringing the tree back. That's what Pete Dye meant. He wanted that tree there. It was a mental hazard when you played that golf hole on number 6. You see the history in our Redcoats, our volunteer chairmen that are so important, not only to the execution of the event, but to the heritage and the upbringing of the event and the trajectory that it's on. So I just feel like if we don't celebrate and recognize the history, we're doing the last 50 years a disservice.
You mentioned that remarkable Calvin Pete feature on Live From. I thought they also did a great job explaining the tree on 6 and the construction that went into that. And I didn't know that Davis Love III was such a big part of that team. But what a spectacular process to make that. And how you guys were able to find the identical tree.
Yeah. I teased our chief referee or our lead rules official, Stephen Cox, because he mentions every once in a while, since we lost the tree, we've been on the search. And I tease him. I say, so it took us 10 years to find one 100 yards away? We must have not been searching very hard, right? But no, only 100 yards down the fairway. But, it's 500,000 pounds. It was 250 tons.
Wow.
And the root ball of that tree was 45 feet in diameter.
Wow.
So in order to move it just 100 yards, we had to put it on bladders, and you rolled it until it got off one, and then you positioned that one in the beginning, and you rolled it until it got off one. And we laugh all the time. It's like, what if that tree was over on 14? How were we going to get it from there over to here? We were lucky to find it.
So I went out today, and I wanted to watch the guys play. And again, I tried to explain this in our opening segment. If you wonder what we're talking about, number 6, which is not a terribly hard hole. It's between two, in my opinion, brutally hard holes, but it's a shorter hole. But there's now a tree that had been there before and is now there from the tee box, 30 yards, maybe 20 yards. I don't know.
Yeah, depending on where the tees to play. Yeah.
So
we actually moved the tee back 20 yards.
Okay.
The funny thing, just to give you, and sorry to interrupt you, Frank, but we placed the tree and then built the tee.
Okay.
So we placed the tree in where we thought it would be, and then built the tee so that it was, exactly the highest point goes to the middle of the fairway.
So correct. So the right part of the tree, the trunk is on the right part of the fairway, and it leans left, so it kind of leans toward the fairway, and then the branches go all the way across the fairway. Hayes, you were telling me it's 19 feet at the lowest.
At the lowest, and then like 22 feet right in the center.
So I watched a group. I wanted to watch a group who were different ages, different. So I've kind of fooled around a lot today. So the group that I watched do this, that I really wanted to lock in, I watched a handful of them. Adam Scott, Gary Woodland, Patrick Cantlay were playing together. Okay, Adam Scott hit a driver. Okay, Woodland hit an iron and freaking smoked it. Okay. And Patrick Cantlay hit, I think, either a hybrid or a 3-wood. I couldn't tell. It was one of the two. I was standing right there. I should be able to tell. But all three hit different shots. Now, obviously, they all did fine. They all hit it low enough. But Scott hit that low one, Lee, that starts slow and then rises. Okay. Woodland hit his iron. What 4-iron, I guess? What would it have been? It was an iron.
He could have a little driving iron in there.
Or maybe he had a driving iron. I mean, absolutely crushed. How far could he have hit that? I'm trying to figure out. I mean,
I'll tell you. I think
he crushed it.
Yeah, and he moves it, and as he continues to knock the rust off and get his strength. But I mean, he could easily, if he's hitting a driving iron, he could hit it 270.
He had to have. He had to have hit that thing 270, 275. And then Patrick Cantlay just hit that hybrid the way he normally does. But it was interesting. Also, for those guys, it was no sweat. I didn't know if it would be, because it's not gimmicky. It's a cool golf impediment. You know, Pete Dye, when he started building courses, when he built this one in '82, the conversation was, would it be gimmicky? Would 17 feel gimmicky? Unless I'm biased to this course, I don't think it does. Well, I think 6 falls into the same category. It's a cool golf impediment. That's what, to your point, that's what Pete Dye wanted. But it doesn't feel gimmicky, and I think the guys will navigate that, but it gives them something to navigate. I guess that's the point.
Yeah, I say it like this too, Frank, and I agree with you. I think what surrounds the 17th green is a water hazard, right? The tree on number 6 is a mental hazard.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
And if you hit the shot that you intend to hit, tree is not a part of play. Yeah. But you miss it high on the face, or you have a mental breakdown, choose the wrong club.
Yeah.
You know, you make a mistake, you hit it to the right where it's lower than down the middle, then the tree comes into play. And obviously, when mental hazards get into your head, it forces you, or it can cause you to make a mistake. If the launch angle of a driver and the launch angle as it would pertain to that tree, the tree is not in play.
Yeah, and it wasn't. And you could tell that it wasn't. All right, so we're going to keep you here for a while today, if that's okay. So last night, how did it go? How did you feel about it? We were here. We couldn't see it, but everybody I talked to that was standing there said it was magnificent, said Jordan Davis was magnificent. How did you feel about the latest incarnation of your military appreciation?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, certainly the opportunity, like every year and every Tuesday of Players Week, to celebrate our men and women in uniform means so much to us. The ability to recognize Jacksonville's oldest veteran in Mrs. Womble, who's 105 years old. Wow. To celebrate with 6 of our local Vietnam veterans and work with Honor Flight and fly them up to D.C. On behalf of the Players Championship to visit all the monuments, including the Vietnam Monument, as well as obviously having a flyover F-16s, and then
that was awesome. They flew. That was really cool.
The surprise that we had for the fans is they doubled up. One spun off and then came and did it again, which was really cool. And then Jordan Davis closed it out as a country music superstar with a great concert. He did some covers of bands like Train and others, plus his original song. So it was a really good night, and we've already got ideas for next year and already working on talent and those types of things. So it's always an exciting time.
Hayes' wife came with us, and while we were doing the show, she was over at the concert. She started walking back until she heard Drops to Jupiter. Yeah. The Train song, turned around and went back.
That's right.
So obviously it was a great day.
Yeah, without a doubt. So obviously it looks like we're going to have fantastic weather. It doesn't appear like wind is going to be really an impediment. So, and we'll have a great time whether the winning score is 6 under or 20 under. But do you have a feel for what kind of golf you think we'll see over the next 4 days in terms of scoring and things like that?
Yeah, I think the way the weather looks now is that we're going to have something similar to this Thursday and Friday. And with the rain that we got Sunday and Monday, certainly the golf course is maybe going to be a little bit softer on Thursday than maybe we'd like it in a perfect scenario. But so I could see some low scores tomorrow morning. A lot of low scores tend to happen on Thursday mornings. People get out of the gate, and usually that's the time when the golf course is playing a little softer as it firms up throughout the week. Looks like we are going to get some wind, like 15 to 25 on Saturday with 30-mile-an-hour gusts. So we'll start to be measured on our green speeds, to make sure that they're up to the task of a 30-mile-an-hour gust. And then Sunday looks like a little bit of wind, and then a possible front coming in later in the afternoon, which it seems like it keeps moving later.
Right.
So. We're excited. This afternoon we announced the sellout for Saturday for our second consecutive year. This time it was 2 days earlier than last year, and that's really driven by the fan experience. We have numbers in our mind, and we feel like once we start to exceed a number, maybe the fan experience that we work so hard to build in the ultimate way is starts to erode. So. You can fit a lot of people out here, but you can't build an infrastructure for all of those people. And so the opportunity for us to call a sellout, make sure that we adhere to our obligation of a great fan experience. And so we always encourage, Friday's not far behind, from a number standpoint. So we encourage those that want to come out on the weekend to pick up your tickets now.
Lee, final thing, is the executive director of this thing, do you have a preference of score? We were 13 or so forever. Would you rather see it hard and 6 under wins, or would you rather see them go really low? And do you have a preference?
I don't really, Frank. I kind of follow in the footsteps of our rules officials that that say we don't set up the golf course with a number in mind. We set up the golf course so that it plays like it's supposed to play. With some of the changes, plays like Pete Dye meant for it to play. And then at the end of the day, I love for every year for it to be just a little bit different. If 1 year it's really dry leading into it and it's firm and there's no wind, or maybe the next year it's a little softer and there's a lot of wind. Like I think that's what the golf course calls for, is not to favor any individual, but it's favoring the person that's hitting it the best and rolling in some putts, which over the last couple of years has been the same guy, and he seems to be trending towards maybe being sharp this week too.
I can't wait to watch. It starts tomorrow. Lee Smith is the executive director. He has to be everywhere. Thank you for spending some time. We're going to drag you in the next 2 days too, if you don't mind. 420. Congratulations on this great start. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for all of us. Can't wait. We appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a break. When we come back, Brett Hastings joins us. Sports and Courts are next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make, and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is, and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
The Players Championship is the biggest PGA Tour event you can win.
If you can't make it to the Players, let 1010XL bring the Players to you with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates. Teed up by Renewal by Anderson, Custom Windows and Doors.
The Deck Guys.
And Taco Lou.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
Did you know your pup could take 30,000 to 60,000 steps a day at Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard? That's a whole lot of tail wagging fun with their best furry friends. At Dogtopia, they turn playtime into exercise, learning, and socialization in their off-leash, open play environment. Dogs build confidence, reduce anxiety, and stay happy and healthy, all while having the time of their lives. Visit Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard today.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Henson with the Henson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Looking for adventure? Need a machine that works as hard as you do? CF Moto has you covered. At Ride Now Beach Boulevard, we've got CF Moto ATVs and UTVs built for any task, any trail, anytime. Tear up the dirt with the trail-tested C-Force ATV lineup or conquer through terrain with a Z-Force UTV. Find your CF Moto ride today at Ride Now Beach Boulevard or visit ridenowbeachboulevard.com. ATVs and UTVs are for riders 16 and older. They can be hazardous to operate. CF Moto recommends an improved safety training course.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers, they take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia. AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care.
Take a radio boat ride with Captain Cabin on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Wheeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services and awaken 180 weight loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
It's the college basketball playoffs, and Hurricane Grill & Wings has slam dunk specials like $3.75 Miller Lite drafts with 30 bold wing flavors, ice-cold drinks, handcrafted cocktails, and big screens everywhere. Watch all the action at Hurricane Grill & Wings.
Hi, I'm Jeff Breyer, president of Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring.
And I'm Nikki Sema. My dad started in business when I was just 4 years old, and now we're 35 years and 20,000 satisfied customers in, and literally have a showroom in every neighborhood.
So whether you're looking to revitalize your home with new flooring or need more outdoor living space with a glass or screen enclosure, we've got you covered.
Visit our websites and don't forget to stop by our showrooms during our open house and cookout this Saturday from 10 to 3. Come see affordable luxury, experience a lifetime difference, and receive additional open house discounts.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, gang, Prosser here. Are you ready to sell your home? I got an easy game plan. Call Chad and Sandy, the only agents I would call to sell my home. The economy is showing positive signs. It might be time to sell, and your home will get you the price you want with Chad and Sandy. It's easy to find out. Get friendly expert help from the Jacksonville agents who eat, drink, and sleep local real estate. Call agents Chad and Sandy Newman. Maybe you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. Guess what? You don't need to. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. But it comes down to the Chad and Sandy guarantee. Your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. all problems have disappeared. Pete in Lakeshore says, I was in a pickle. I needed to cash out on a rental property fast. I was struggling to rent. I heard Chad and Sandy on the radio, called. I had an offer for full asking price within days. Join the local success stories by calling Chad and Sandy at 904-414-6200 or going to chadandsandy.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now time for Sports and Courts, legal issues in the sports world with Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Hit back with Hastings.
Brett Hastings joins us. We are live at the Players' Championship. We'll get into Sports and Courts in a second, but you've made that trip out here a time or two. You're kind of a beach guy, so you're one of the czars of this thing, are you not?
I'm sitting here bitter and jealous because I'm not out there, you know? It's kind of like JJ back there at the home office. This is no fun today. So
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're with us, no question about it. Hey, we've talked with all the ADs. We talked all the ADs on our show. Alex Gilbert from JU, Nick Morrow from UNF, about the overall the settlement and how the settlement is going to wind up affecting the House versus NCAA settlement. By the way, the financial compensation, the back payments, how all of it works. Before we get into the specifics of this Sports and Courts, give me a quick overview for people that don't know what this means for the schools and the legality of all this, if you would, Brett.
Right. So we hear about it all the time, House versus NCAA, right? There were 2 or 3 cases. They were antitrust cases, okay? Well, there's been a settlement that happened at the tail end of last year. It's been tentatively accepted. And under that settlement, the NCAA, okay, along with all of the major power conferences, have agreed to essentially back pay damages for name, image, and likeness. And they're going to pay like $2.78 billion. Now, they're going to pay that over 10 years, and that's to former Division I athletes who would have played in June 2016 up until the time that the NIL stuff changed in 2021. It's roughly the 5-year statute of limitations that was there.
All right.
As we understand it now, 75% of that, $3 billion, let's call it, is expected to go to football players. 20% to basketball players, men's and women's, 5% to other athletes, and an average payout of probably $135,000 for Power 5 football and men's basketball players.
So they get that money.
They get that money. So that's one of the things. And, what the listeners really need to know, there's also a revenue sharing provision that's going to start. So starting in the 25-26 academic year, schools can opt to share up to 22% of their average annual revenue, which everyone projects to be like $20 to $23 million a school. And it's the first time they can take and use that money. Now, it's not supposed to be pay for play. It's supposed to be for their name, image, and likeness. And the school can then give that directly to the students. And so that's where things have changed. That's where, no longer do we talk about amateurism, right? We're talking about getting paid, for your name, image, and likeness. And so that's a big shift from the way the NCAA was in the past. They're going to eliminate scholarships, right, limits. Instead, they're going to have roster limits. And then and this is one of the things that there's not a lot of clarification and we want to know. But everybody has agreed to this point that they should regulate NIL, and there's going to be some type of arbitrator or third party that's going to go and try to enforce this. But there's, a lot to still be figured out in regards to that. So those are kind of the 4 major things.
Okay. Now, based on what you said, they're broken up by this sport gets this much and this sport gets this much. Well, what if you were a big moneymaker in one of the minor sports? Livy Dunn, we all know who Livy Dunn is. She's the gymnast from LSU that has all the endorsement deals and dates Paul Skeens and all that. But tell me what's going to happen here. She may go to court, or at least testify in a hearing, essentially saying she should make more than part of her 5%. Is that kind of the gist of this?
Yes, it is. So coming up on April the 7th is what's called a fairness hearing, okay? And so a fairness hearing is a court proceeding in a class action lawsuit, right? And it's an open hearing for people who object to the settlement to say, and to be able to really determine, is it fair, is it reasonable, and is it adequate? A lot of times there's class actions that are going on that we don't know, right? They're against T-Mobile for overcharging.
Sure.
And, here, Frank can be, somebody that could get a recovery, Hays or whatever. But really what the court in those cases are doing is they're trying to figure out, is this in the best interest of the class? This isn't the lawyers and the one or two people who brought the lawsuit who are going to benefit potentially the most. Is it in everybody's best benefit? So Libby Dunn wrote a letter. You guys can see it on Twitter, and she, point out a lot of the things that really are somewhat problematic about the settlement. And she kind of pointed out the scenario that you just gave. And so she wants to go and be heard on it. And at this point, the settlement is tentative. And the court is going to go hear what all these people have to say before the court says, you know what, I'm going to approve this settlement, and then everything that's been agreed to at this point can go forward. Now, I think more likely than not, the settlement's going to be approved, but I do think there's going to be a lot of testimony and other things that come out on that because we don't really know. We weren't a part of the negotiations as to how did they get to that calculus of making sure that the majority went, to football or to whoever else?
Do you think that this is going to settle things for a while, or do you think this could get messy?
Well, I think this is going to be the first domino in helping us get to a point where ultimately NIL and these other things are somewhat more regulated. The big problem with this, right? We talk about it all the time. We've got a couple more major, collective bargaining agreements that are coming up. And what, Libby Dunn pointed out, and rightfully so, is said, hey, the athletes weren't really at the table bargaining for this. There were some lawyers who brought these cases on behalf of the athletes, but we don't really know that was really, in fact, collectively bargained, right? And so, I think ultimately we're going to move towards that. Here's the big things that when you look through this thing still does not address Title IX, right? This thing still leaves open other future antitrust challenges for other people outside of the dates. And it ultimately doesn't address the biggest question that still needs to be answered in this space. And that is, are these players employees, right? Right now, this is still limited solely to name, image, and likeness. Wow. I think this is going to help, right? I think this is going to help get money to the players. I think it's the first step in some sophistication, so I think it's going to make it better, but I still think we got a good ways to go.
All right, well, it's going to be very interesting to see, and you've done a great job of tracking that. It's the big story in college athletics, and we're going to probably lean on you some more to let us know exactly what's going to happen. But listen, what's lost in this is football player guy that played 3 years ago is about to get a $150,000 check or whatever it is. It's pretty amazing stuff, and we'll continue to track that. Brett, great work as always, buddy. We appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it. Take care.
All right, that's Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm, and that is Sports and Courts. Let's take a break. We're live here at the Players Championship. A little bit of football, if that's okay. We got golf coming around the corner. But are the Jags better now than they were before? Are the Broncos better now that they have Evan Ingram, who they've just signed to a deal? We'll talk all about these Jaguars, at least for now, versus the Jaguars you saw in December. That's next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Happy New Year from everyone at Nimnick Chevrolet. Now look, as they begin 2025, Nimnick is so excited to offer even more choices and better prices for you, ensuring your car buying experience is second to none. And if you're wondering where to go for a better buying experience, it's simple. Nobody but Nimnick. So here's to another year of driving forward together. And don't forget now, in this new year means new truck time at Nimnick Chevrolet. This month, you can save up to $12,000 off a new Silverado. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. And with their extensive selection, you're sure to find the perfect truck at Nimnick. Available now, the all-new Silverado EV, designed to go the distance. It boasts 440 miles of range, more standard range than any competitor, and ask about a terrific low rate as well. So who's got more new Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
of the Jaguars fan.
To see the stadium packed tonight, it was awesome. One of the best game environments I've been in.
This is 1010XL.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
This is Mike Lynch, PGA Golf Professional. Take it from me. If you're dealing with an orthopedic issue, talk to the doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, where you're treated like a pro.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, where athletes are treated like pros. Thanks to all of you who have allowed us to be part of your recovery. Call us at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist if you ever have a need.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Join me, Max Fink, as I keep a close eye on everything that happens in Gator Nation.
The Gator Report, polished up by San Jose Collision, on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gator!
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Ahead, we build platforms for digital business. We help create your platform for digital business by weaving together advances in cloud infrastructure, intelligent operations, and modern applications. Digital business is comprised of 5 pillars. We call them imperatives because they're a must-have, not a nice-to-have. We enterprise cloud, integrated security, scaled DevOps, intelligent operations, and relentless automation. Need help with digital transformation? Ahead. Learn, grow, achieve.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
One thing that separates Beard's Diamonds from those other jewelry stores at the town center, no one's paid on commission.
Nobody at Beard's is on commission. That's more of your corporate stores that pay commission.
Beard's owner, John Lupo, says that means no pressure, no hidden agenda, no extra markups.
And you're getting a better deal. You're not paying the corporate commission. You're not paying the salesperson's commission. If they're paying their salespeople commission, you're starting off in the hole.
And that's why you feel like a number at most jewelry stores, because it's all about making the sale, but not at Beard's.
Because it's a corporate atmosphere and they want to sell you what they want to sell you. We're here to sell you what you want. Our salespeople can do whatever they want to make sure that the customer is happy.
So relax. At Beard's Diamonds, they have all the things you want, like quality education, selection, warranties, and none of the stuff you don't want, like pressure and tacked on commissions.
Nobody's making an extra 5 or 10% on Beard's customers.
Beard's Diamonds, the town center's only locally owned jeweler.
We sell better merchandise, better product for less money, guaranteed.
Catch Gators baseball all season long on 1010XL. Pitched by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators.
The 2025 NFL season is right around the corner, and the Jags are building something special. A fresh team, a new culture, and a stadium that's going to change the game. Be there to witness head coach Liam Cohen and the rest of the coaching crew in action by securing your season tickets today. Become a member to get access to exclusive experiences, VIP events, and more. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at the bank this fall.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. 2019 Players Champion Rory McIlroy is no stranger to the jaws of TPC Sawgrass and how unforgiving the course can be. As the year after winning the tournament, he shot 10 over and missed the cut. Knowing the challenges the course presents, McIlroy talked about what it takes to win a tournament like this.
The mistakes can compound here pretty quickly, so you really just have to be on your game and execute as well as you can. And I think more than any other course that we play, that's what it demands. You have to hit the ball where you're looking, and visually, if you're uncomfortable with a certain type of shot, or visually it's very demanding, so it makes you uncomfortable as well. It's one of the best tests of the year for sure.
World number 2 tees off round 1 at 1:29 p.m. tomorrow on number 10, alongside world number 1 and 3, Scotty Scheffler and Xander Schauffele. It's 75 degrees at 5:01. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Man, oh man, it's the eve of the event. Frangie and Carlyon with you. La Selva back at World Headquarters. Look at that clubhouse. You just look at that.
It's
we're
really
not worthy
remarkable.
of that thing. I mean, it's gorgeous.
I mean, I will say, it's considering that it's, been here now for a while.
Yeah.
They really did such a spectacular job with it.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a fantastic landmark if you have a wife that is lost on the course.
Yeah. That was tremendous. You had to hear this. Hays is on the phone with his wife, and poor Jean, who's such a. By the way, you have to know Jean, Hays' wife, Jean. She's in a perennial good mood.
That's right.
She really
tons of energy.
She's in a. I mean, if
everyone's a friend.
Yeah, everyone. I mean, she's in a perennial good mood. She really is. She brightens up everybody's day when she's around. So she's watching the concert, and we're off the air. And I hear Hays goes, this was one of the great moments maybe of my life, when you said to her, you just meet me at the clubhouse. And then I hear you go, I see you now, you go, the really big building. That was tremendous. It's only about as big as Palatka.
Right, exactly.
Oh, my God. And then next thing
there she is.
There she is on a cart.
Yeah, she's resourceful.
She had somebody dragged out.
She got a cart.
That was a great moment. So it was fantastic. That was tremendous. News on Ingram. That just happened now.
Yeah, Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram to the Denver Broncos. A deal worth 2-year deal worth $25 million, 16.5 of which is guaranteed. Look, he's only 30 years old. And he's a pass catcher. And so the Broncos get better, certainly with regard to pass catching. There's a draft still, so this is an unfair question, and it's an unfair point even to put the Jags in this position. But for the sake of the conversation, it's a talk show. Right now, how do you see – and there's a draft class coming too. I'm going to say that again. But how do you see this Jaguar foundation compared to the one that of players? Forget the coaching and the plan and the scheme. The roster, the talent of the roster compared to the one that we saw in the middle of December.
I would say probably it's hard to say. It's probably better because Liam Cohen and James Gladstone are targeting specific things. So it's probably better. My feel is it's probably a little worse because I like Christian Kirk. I think he's a really good player. I like I said, I got why they released him, but I would have liked to have seen him be part of this team as well as Evan Ingram. And so, I think in, losing Cisco, that doesn't concern me. Losing Sheriff, that doesn't concern me. But yeah, I'd say if you've lost Ingram and Kirk, and then you've signed 9 guys that, are coming in with, some level of either, solid careers to, I'd say unheralded careers, I on the hoof, I'd say they're a little worse, but I'm probably wrong because what they've done is they've brought in 9 guys that they believe will cure the biggest issues of the team, which is lack of physicality and maybe be more cohesive with what they're trying to do schematically on both sides of the ball. So they're probably better, but from my standpoint, it feels like on paper they're probably a little worse heading into the draft.
I think they're more physical, less skilled today. That's the sentence for me. I think more physical, less skilled. Now, if Dyami Brown is what they think, I keep going back to him, Hays, because again, until there's more players added, whether it's in a second wave of free agency or the draft, this is what they have. I think they're more. I think this team is more physical. I think Robert Hainsey will be a more physical. At 26 years old, will be a more physical center than Mitch Morse was. I don't think there's much question that Patrick McCarry at 27 years old will be a more physical right guard than Brandon Sheriff was. My guess is that Johnny Munt and Hunter Long together will be more physical tight ends than Ingram and Luke Farrell. And Luke Farrell's pretty physical, but Ingram was more of a pass catcher. So my guess is Munt and Long will be more physical as a pair than Farrell and Ingram were as a pair. My guess is Eric Murray will be a more physical safety than Andre Sisco was. My guess is Jordan Lewis will be a more physical nickel than the myriad of people who played nickel, Darnell Savage most of the year, Jarian Jones at the end, who now plays outside. So I think it's a more physical. Right today, I think the roster is more physical than it was. That doesn't count the fact that also Foye Oluwakun's moving back inside, which makes you way better at middle linebacker. My guess is that Oluwakun and Ventrell Miller will be your two linebackers. My guess is I'll bet you, and I don't know this, I'm guessing, but I'll bet you Ventrell Miller's ahead of Devin Lloyd. Lloyd may move outside, may move somewhere else. We'll see what winds up happening. So more physical to me right now, not as skilled. That's
I think that's a good, concise way to describe it. I would agree with that. They're certainly more physical. I mean, this brain trust was going to go get, if you had said they're going to sign 9 players, I bet you Nick Mullins is tough for a quarterback. It's that kind of thing.
Great point.
And so, so I never had any doubts about that. And look, if they're a more physical team, they will be a better team than they were last year. But yeah, so I think the way you said it, more skill or more physical, maybe not as skilled. That's a good way to put it. But again, that number 5 pick in the draft, probably going to be a pretty skilled player.
You're doggone right.
High second-round pick, probably going to be a pretty skilled player if they choose the right people.
They will add skill. There's no question. And again, if Dyami Brown is a budding star, and that's look, 1 year, $10 million, it's a prove-it year. But here's what happened. He was invisible for a handful of years in Washington. Then, for whatever reason, he emerged as a late season and a postseason star for a really upwardly mobile Washington team. Now, was it a fluke? Or is he a guy that shame on them they didn't use enough anyway? Or that shame on him the light didn't go on for him in time? But he was a late season, postseason star. There's no doubting that. So the Jags are playing the hunch and for 1 year that maybe he is that budding star. And by the way, if he is, you better get him extended if all of a sudden halfway through the season he's a pretty good player. But he's a big part of that. I also think they will add skill. But I want to be honest, too, here. I can't spend 3 years telling you what a good player Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram are. And I said that over and over and over and over and over. And then all of a sudden say, oh, no big deal, they won't miss. I'd be lying. I'd be disingenuous if I said that. I'm not going to do that. I think they're both good players. And I did not want to see Christian Kirk go. I did not want to see that happen. I wish they could find a way to, whether it was a restructuring of his deal, I wish they could have found a way to keep him. Evan Ingram, I feel the same way about, although I think they're going to your point, different coaches and different schemes use players different ways.
Yeah, Ingram's not for everybody.
That's right.
Now,
that's right.
he is, there's a lot of teams that would love to have him in Denver, and Sean Payton are obviously one of them. But you could have 2 really gifted offensive minds, and one of them looks at Evan Ingram and says, I absolutely can use that guy. And another one looks at him and says, maybe it makes us a little too predictable what his skill set offers.
Yeah, that's right. But that's a very good point. So we'll see. I do think this. I do think this is a Jaguar group. The group. James Gladstone, Liam Cohen, Tony Baselli, the triumvirate that is kind of at the top now. I do believe they like where they are. I think they would tell you we like the way this played out. I'm very confident they would tell you they like the way this played out.
And I think, for being an inexperienced group, it speaks volumes that they were able to get 9 guys to agree to terms, and in over a 48-hour window, that never faltered. There was never even a whisper from any of the national reporters about, well, it's looking like Eric Murray is now having second thoughts because here come the Vikings. And you do worry about that with a group that's never gone through this, any of the three in their collective roles that they have now, and obviously the increased amount of responsibility. But it was seamless. I mean, it was like legal tampering's begun. Here are the 9, and for 48 hours, none of them ever wavered. And usually that can happen. I mean, we've seen it happen. It happens around the league. Again, it's normally when guys agree to terms, it's going to get to the finish line, but it doesn't always get to the finish line. And they did a good job making sure that the 9 that they were really committing to early ended up being 9 that they announced right at 4:00 about an hour and 10 minutes ago.
And I will tell you this, I can tell you this. I see stuff on social media that they had offers to others and got outbid, or I can tell you that's not true. Okay, I can tell you. I just trust me on that. I can tell you it's not like, boy, they finished second or third or fourth for this guy or that guy. That didn't happen. Okay, I'm just telling you that didn't happen. They did not finish second, third, or fourth on this guy, and they had an offer in for this guy, and it didn't. Just trust me on this. If you believe, if you want something that I say to believe that. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see. Again, there's still a lot of work to do. I don't know a lot about some of these players. I like the fact that I do believe they've made their football team more physical. And look, they said that. Baselli said it on with me before it even started. Liam kind of said it. They've said it in their press conferences. They want to be a more physical football team. That's the goal. So we'll see if.
And honestly, in this division, I don't think you have to necessarily have crazy talent to win. If you are the most physical team in the AFC South next fall, you will win that division because none of the 4 have crazy talent. At least it appears that way. Maybe there'll be something that
there's no question
that we don't foresee. But I mean, this is a division where the tough team is going to win this division.
I think it's a very good point. We'll take a break. Hays has headlines as we continue on a Wednesday. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
The world will be watching Ponte Vedra.
And the Scheffler victory train just keeps on rolling.
Get live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates.
Teed up by Roundtree Sod,
Surfside Pools,
and Performance Painting
on 1010XL.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web. Precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Lauren Brooks here. At Hodges Mazda, they are proud of their solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. As your hometown Mazda dealer, their high customer service standards and their huge inventory of new and used cars provide their customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Their professional non-commissioned sales team puts your best interest first without exception. And all new vehicle purchases include the Hodges Mazda Protection Package. Visit them online at HodgesMazda.com or stop in today to learn more and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging in the mirror? Fine lines, sun damage, redness? They don't have to be part of your future. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist, and I can help you look and feel your best without invasive surgery or painful treatments. Imagine rejuvenating your skin in a relaxing, comfortable environment with minimal to no downtime. Smooth out fine lines, even skin tone, and restore that youthful glow.
Find out how to look and feel your best at Thermagnify.com. Thermagnify.com.
Don't miss the Players Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scottie Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. And he's listening to the Nimnicht Outdoor Show with tips and stories. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Every Saturday morning, 7 to 10.
On 1010XL.
Your hole-in-one for men's health is Ackerman Urology. With offices in Mandarin, Middleburg, Rural Golf Village, and the beaches, Ackerman will get you on par for any prostate conditions and sexual vitality. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
Anytime you've got major plumbing problems, and even the minor ones, there's several potential causes, and they usually can't be easily detected. So don't guess at a solution. Hire Roland Reese Plumbing at PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. I've heard people selling diamonds saying they have high-quality diamonds at rock-bottom prices. Can that happen?
Frank, that'd be like a Mercedes dealer saying they sold at the same price as a Yugo. That just doesn't happen in any industry, and people who believe it are always the ones looking for something too good to be true, and they normally find out later it was. In diamonds, when you talk about higher quality diamonds with credible diamond grading reports from GIA, AGS, or Forevermark, the prices are higher, but so is the quality and value. Now, for a customer to understand that, they have to try to learn things like going to the internet, but they're going to get confused because they don't have an expert to ask questions to. The best way to get answers is to come in one of our stores and ask one of our professionals what those questions are and have them explain real diamonds to you. The result will be you'll understand more about a diamond's quality, price, and value by coming in.
Underwood Jewelers in San Marco, in Avondale, and at the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Poker players, the Run Good Poker Series is coming to Best Bet Jacksonville from April 24th to May 4th with 10 poker events, including the $1,200 main event, hosting a $300,000 guaranteed prize pool, and event number 1, a $400 no-limit hold'em tourney with a $200,000 guarantee. The action is non-stop. One in, win your seat through satellite starting April 4th at Best Bet Jacksonville. For all the Run Good Series structures and details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here. In the past 10 years, the weight loss industry has seen it all. New medications, fad diets, sculpting, and still, Awaken 180 continues to stand alone as the proven solution for weight loss online at awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here. JJ LaSelva back at 1010XL. I'm Hays Carlyon. We're out here at the beautiful stadium course as the Players' Championship gets set to start tomorrow. And thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you get injured, that is who you need to put your trust into. Frank, happy new league year.
Yeah.
The NFL
Thank you for that.
Is officially on to 2025. Several of the 9 new Jaguar free agent acquisitions will meet the media tomorrow. That'll be exciting. And we are expecting General Manager James Gladstone to speak as well. What would you like to hear from Mr. Gladstone tomorrow in regards to this free agent haul?
How it went. I want to know how it went. Did you target anybody else? How did you land on these 9? Was it hard to convince these 9? Was there how much negotiating went on? Did anything go wrong? Are there any things you wish would have been different? You know what I mean? How many did you want? How many offers did you have out there? I think you're going to get a good answer to that. I think you're going to get an answer that's going to impress you when you ask that question. But yeah, I would think I would want him to take me through the process. First time he's ever led the room. As good as he has been and as valuable as Les Need told everybody that he was, he's never led the room before. And so I'll be interested to hear that. I think that'll be a very interesting presser tomorrow. We won't be there because we'll be here, and they understand that, and people understand that. But it'll be online. I look forward to watching that and finding out, all those critical answers.
Absolutely. It was a good day for a couple of young Jaguars, cornerback Monteric Brown and safety Antonio Johnson. They both were rewarded, through the league's performance-based play bonus system. Brown received a bonus of $976,000, the 8th highest this year in the league. Johnson got $872,000. The system rewards players with inexpensive contracts who played a significant amount of their team's snaps. Brown played 71.5% of Jaguars' defensive snaps last season, while Johnson played 57.2% of Jaguar defensive snaps last season.
And you know what? Buster was pretty. Johnson, they had expectations for him. Monteric Brown, not as much. He was pretty good. He's pretty good for what they did, so good for both guys.
Evan Ingram has a new team. The former Jaguars tight end is signing with Denver on a 2-year, $23 million deal. That'll be a fun offense.
I think with Sean Payton calling the plays, with the athleticism and the off-schedule ability of Bo Nix, yeah, I think he will fit there perfectly. I think he and I wish Evan the best. He was a good guy and a good guy to have around, and I wish him all the best in Denver.
Yeah, he'll be easy to cheer for the Broncos, and I think he'll make a big impact for them. Russell Wilson will visit Cleveland tomorrow and the New York Giants on Friday, according to reports. What do you think he has left?
Well, he wasn't very good last year. He wasn't. In Denver his last year, he actually toward the end of the year was better. Last year with the Steelers, he wasn't very good. Now they have a miserable receiving core in Pittsburgh. That's why they went and got DK Metcalf. They have George Pickens, who's a diva and is talented, and the rest of them aren't any good. So that affected him. But I don't think there's a lot left. Here's what I will tell you: if the Steelers wanted him, he wanted to come back. From everything you read, if the Steelers wanted him back, he wouldn't be visiting anywhere else. So this now confirms that the Steelers don't want him. Justin Fields left the Steelers to go to the Jets. I'm really intrigued. If it's not Aaron Rodgers, bring back Big Ben at 43 years old. I mean, what
about Bradshaw?
Yeah,
does he have anything left?
Bradshaw. So I'm interested what happens there. As for Russell Wilson, there's not a lot, and I'm a big Russell Wilson fan. I loved him in Seattle. I was a big fan of his. I thought by last year I didn't know if he'd be great, but when he went to Denver, I thought he was going to be really good. I really did. It doesn't look like there's a lot left to me. What do you think?
I don't think there's much left either. I think if you're desperate, one of these teams, I think he's a good bridge to your your next answer.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I would say his days of being an unquestioned starting quarterback in the league are teetering. But you bring up a great point in Aaron Rodgers. Let's assume that happens. Aaron Rodgers signs with the Steelers. How do you think that'll go with him and Tomlin and Pickens and Metcalf?
Well, what helps them is when healthy, they are very good on defense. So you're not going to be in a lot of track meets, and I think that helps them. And, I don't know if Arthur Smith's a very good play caller. He's their play caller now. But Jaylen Warren's a good back. Their line is decent. So if all the diva stuff doesn't, if the dark rooms and the hibernation and the
ayahuasca
and the Pat McAfee show and all the Aaron Rodgers stuff doesn't rear its head, and there's a little left, it probably will go well. We'll see.
The Rams tried to work out a trade, never really got any great offers, so they have released receiver Cooper Kupp. Be interested to see what kind of market he has and where he ends up. I would expect a very team-friendly deal with a contender.
Yeah, I would think that too. Again, there was a lot of stuff in the universe that the Jags were pursuing him. I don't think they ever were. Now he's like anybody else. if he goes from a $20 million a year guy to a $4 million guy, well, then I think a lot of teams are going to want him. Then that's a different conversation. But yeah, why not? If you're willing to play, play for peanuts, and he's not the player he once was. He's been hurt a lot. He doesn't have the productivity he once had. He was never a burner anyway. Yeah, I think you hit it. He's got to play for way less. I mean, what does he got to play for? $5 million?
Maybe a little more than that.
$6 million?
Yeah, it's not going to be a ton.
Yeah, and if he plays for that, then I think there will be a number of takers.
Yeah, that's what I would think he would sign with a playoff team from last year, and probably one that advanced.
But he's got to be willing to play for way less.
Which is what I mean, yeah, he's got a ring, so maybe he won't. Maybe it'll just be whoever pays him the most. Be interesting to see, but I wouldn't think he'd have a dynamic market. Joey Bosa to the Bills. They got rid of Von Miller. They replaced him with, you have to think, a big upgrade in terms of Bosa just having more years left in his career. Von Miller, a first ballot Hall of Famer, but much older. Joey Bosa to the Bills, 1 year, $12 million.
Perfect for the Bills, miserable for the rest of the AFC. I mean, the Bills, a really good team, just got better. I think they've got one of the best 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the league, if not better. They know how to win. They've had some gut-wrenching losses, obviously, at the hands of Kansas City. They're a force, and they're going to be forced for a long time.
DeAndre Hopkins to the Ravens on a 1 year, $6 million deal. Good move?
Yeah, I think so. He's not the D-Hop that he once was. We all know that. But because he's on a team that runs the football with a dynamic quarterback that can run it and throw it, with a very good tight end, despite a pass he dropped late in the year, yeah, I think he's the perfect guy for them. I think a veteran guy that knows how to play is the perfect fit. Yeah, I do like it there. Again, he's not the DeAndre. He was the best receiver in the league for a few years there. It's hard to say. It's hard to be the best anything in the National Football League. I really believe he was. He's not that anymore. But no, I think he helps immensely.
Let's get to the Players' Championship. We are out here at the stadium course. We will make our picks in our next segment. But Frank, great news for the Players' Championship. Saturday tickets are sold out. Friday is getting close, and then you have Sunday, but a magnificent event, and it's great to see all their hard work being rewarded with such great fan enthusiasm.
So deserving. This is a wonderful operation. It's a wonderful event. I'm so proud of it. I'm born and raised in Jacksonville. You are too. I'm proud of what it's become. I'm proud of the way the golf community embraces it. I'm proud of the way Jacksonville embraces it. I'm glad that since we launched 1010 18 years ago, we're out here. All of our shows are out here all week long. It's a wonderful thing to be a part of, and I love the fact that it's here, and I can't wait to. Tonight I'll go to bed like Christmas Eve night. I mean, because the golf's for real tomorrow. I'll get up there. I'll walk the dog. I'll get up. I'll take the shower, and I'll head out this way. And my wife will say, "I'll see you when I see you." And I get excited about tomorrow. I really do.
Absolutely. Let's get to college basketball. Walter Clayton Jr. named a first-team All-American. This is the first time in program history a Gator has been named a first-team selection to the All-American squad.
First time it's ever happened. It's truly hard to believe that it's never happened before. Walter Clayton Jr. is, honest to God, one of the most enjoyable Florida athletes that I can remember in the last 20 years. Honest to God, the way he plays, he's so good. He's got that range. They call him the college version of Steph Curry, and he's not Steph, but in the college world he is. He'll let it go from the logo. I hate that I'm going to watch every dribble, and I have watched every dribble, but I hate that it's only 2 years. He'll be gone after this year. I tell Gator fans, watch number 1 in white or number 1 in blue, because they don't come along very often. They really do. Good for him. He deserves to be a first-team All-American.
And maybe now he'll actually get calls when he drives to the basket. I've never seen a college superstar who has to beg for a call like Walter Clayton Jr. I mean, he's a big guy, and he gets knocked around, and it's never called.
And I'll say this, too. He's a physical guy. He's obviously small by NBA standards. I was wrong. I made a comment way earlier in the year that they're doing this without a lot of NBA guys. I changed my mind on that. He's an NBA guy. Condon's an NBA guy. Houck's an NBA guy. In a year or two, Aberdeen's an NBA guy. So I've gone from no NBA guys to 3 or 4, in my opinion, on this team.
Yeah, that's a good point. The SEC tournament starts today. It's a big day for bubble teams. Arkansas played South Carolina. I don't have a result on that. JJ, maybe you can help me with that in the next minute or two. They played at 1 o'clock today, but that was a big game for Arkansas. South Carolina they're like the worst team in the league, so they'd have to win the whole thing to get in.
Arkansas won by 4, 72-68.
All right, thank you. So Arkansas advances. So that's a nice win for the Razorbacks in terms of just staying on the right side of the bubble. Texas and Vandy should be going on right now, probably in the second half. Vandy appears to be in, Texas out. So the Longhorns desperately need that win against Vandy. Tonight, LSU plays Mississippi State. That should interest Gators fans because that game feeds into Florida's part of the bracket. Ultimately, that winner plays Missouri tomorrow, and then Friday would play the Gators, whoever comes out of that. So LSU, Mississippi State tonight. Not a lot of bubble there. LSU is terrible. Mississippi State comfortably in. They're playing for seed. And then tonight, the wrap-up game, really intriguing. Oklahoma, Georgia. Both teams probably in when you look at projections, but a win really solidifies their spot. A loss could absolutely create some uncertainty for the loser, particularly if you see some bids get stolen in these other conference tournaments by some teams that you weren't expecting to get into the field.
Oklahoma loses, they're out. If Georgia loses, I think they're probably out, but they still could get in because they had a good finish. I think Georgia's going to beat Oklahoma. I think Georgia's actually played pretty well at the end of the year. They've actually been pretty good. But you're right, a very intriguing game. And back to the other game, Mississippi State's pretty good. LSU's not very good. That should be an easy win for Mississippi State. And then Mississippi State, Missouri is a heck of a game tomorrow night. I hope it goes 8 overtimes. Okay. Because the winner plays the Gators the next night.
That's right. Florida State loses to Syracuse 66-62 in the first round of the ACC tournament last night. The two teams combined to make just 4 3-pointers in the game. You almost never see that in this day and age. The Noles finished 17-15 in Leonard Hamilton's final season with the club.
Yeah, I will remember this year for the fact that it was pretty cool. It was really pretty cool the way the Seminole Nation embraced Leonard Hamilton. I know he didn't win championships and it wasn't perfect, but he was a loyal Nole for a long time. I think that was cool the way it ended. You know, it's okay sometimes to have a coach that represents you so well in so many ways, even if he didn't quite win enough games. I think that's a cool story. That story doesn't get talked about enough. In this day and age where coaches are on the hot seat in year 2 and fired in year 3, the fact that they stayed with him all those years, I know Seminole fans were angry about it for a while. I think Leonard Hamilton's run at FSU is a really cool story. I mean, I really believe that. I think it's a really cool story.
Absolutely, 23 years, and it was really cool to see the respect that Leonard Hamilton received from opposing venues. Duke was very nice in honoring him before the game. The ACC gave him the game ball. Yesterday is sort of a going away present, and obviously Florida State's alums that played for him have really shown their support. So best wishes to Leonard Hamilton. Let's get it to college baseball. Frank, number 7 Florida takes down 5th-ranked FSU 7-2 in Tallahassee, handing the Noles their first loss of the season. Colby Shelton homered and drove in 3 runs for the Gators, who improved to 16-2. UF is now 23-7 versus FSU in the last 30 meetings of the rivalry.
The home run Shelton hit is still going. It hit the light tower. I don't know if you saw it or not. It hit the light tower about half the way up. Florida, by the way, had to play their next 4 games were going to be against 15-0 FSU and 16-0 Tennessee, and they beat FSU. Remember, FSU crushed them last year. They wore them out all 3 times. I mean, they didn't just beat them, beat the dog out of them. Florida has now beaten FSU 23 of the last 30 times they've played. 2 good teams, by the way. 2 teams with both went to Omaha last year. Both finished in the top 4 in America in Omaha last year, and both have a chance to do it again this year.
Absolutely. We will get you out on our musical note of the day. The Players is here, so we've got to play. Look, I don't know very many golf songs, but I know this one. We've got to play Kenny Loggins' theme from Caddyshack. This is I'm All Right. The song peaked at number 7 on the Billboard Top 100 back in 1980.
It's a great golf song. It's like the ultimate golf song. Well done as always. With headlines. We're live at the Players. We'll take a break and be back to wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
NBA Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder continuing to be the runaway favorite for the MVP award. He is at minus 475, while Denver's Nikola Jokic is at plus 300. This is a two-player race as Giannis Antetokounmpo is plus 10,000 and Jason Tatum of the Celtics is plus 25,000. Stephon Castle of the San Antonio Spurs is the betting favorite to win the Rookie of the Year award. He is at minus 450. Evan Mobley of the Cleveland Cavaliers emerging as the betting favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. He is at minus 250. Dyson Daniels of the Atlanta Hawks plus 450. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Jacksonville's summer heat is coming in fast. Is your AC ready to handle it? Or will it quit on you on the hottest day of the year, leaving you sweating and stuck with a huge repair bill? Duck Air Conditioning is here to save the day with a free AC system inspection. Our expert techs will make recommendations to ensure your AC system is running in tip-top shape before the heat arrives. Call now, 904-862-6769. Duck Air Conditioning, duckac.com. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
Lots of jewelry stores in the town center, but only one is locally owned, Beard's Diamonds.
We're the only local jewelry store at the town center.
That's Jacksonville's John Lupo, owner of Beard's for over 4 decades.
We're entrenched in Jacksonville, Florida.
In a sea of mega chain jewelers, John says it's easy to stand out because he's not handcuffed by a corporate handbook.
I am not beholden to a corporate structure, so we've got flexibility to do whatever we can and want, and we do.
And that includes lowering prices to undercut them every day.
Quality for quality, color for color, everything the same. We should be able to beat them hands down by minimum 20%. We go overseas ourselves. We know exactly what we're buying. This isn't getting marked up in a corporate structure. We will beat anybody's price anywhere.
So before you buy anything at one of those chains, get a second opinion at locally owned Beard's Diamonds. No corporate atmosphere, no corporate rules, no corporate high markups.
We want you to come shop us and you'll see a lot better price here.
Beard's Diamonds.
Everybody gets a good deal at Beard's.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
Happy New Year from Big Chief Tire. Frank Frangie here. Start 2025 off right by keeping your car running smoothly. Whether you're traveling for work or heading out on a weekend getaway, their expert technicians will ensure your vehicle is in top shape. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule maintenance, repairs, or tire service. With Big Chief Tire's trusted care, you'll tackle every journey ahead with peace of mind. Start the year strong. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Here's Linda Beaver.
It's a new year with new goals, but let's face it, not all resolutions are easy to keep. Maybe you promised yourself you'd eat healthier, but pizza still seems like a better idea. Or you said you'd read more, but your favorite show just launched a new season. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, we can help you keep your New Year's resolution. We offer the biggest selection, best prices, and the easiest car buying experience. Let's make a resolution to visit Beaver Toyota or Beaver Chevrolet, where we'll wow you with a new ride for the new year.
Get more Gators on the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Friday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL's Gator Bites podcast wherever you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out. You need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. That's right, Terminix it.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, rolling lot bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count
count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org.
For Canine Veterans Day, Navy Mutual would like to salute all active and retired canines that have served our country. Canine Veterans Day has been officially designated as a day to honor these unique members of our military. America salutes you.
Hey folks, Nick here for Zero Res. You're going to want to beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get one room Zero Resified starting at $53. Hey, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Don't forget about your air ducts. Your air ducts sort of like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air quality suffers. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com. Tell them Dan or 1010XL sent you. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, where we've been on the course of the program today, we've certainly talked an awful lot about the Players' Championship. Our friend Lee Smith stopped by, the executive director of the Players, talked all about that fantastic fan shop, the fantastic day they had yesterday at the Military Appreciation ceremony, which is every Tuesday out here, which is so good. The weather's been fantastic. We've talked about what kind of play we expect to see, so an awful lot of golf today. We talked about the Jaguars. Are the Jaguars better? Are they not better? With this new roster, we'll certainly continue to delve into that. Brett Hastings stopped by. It was Sports and Courts today, and he talked about the House settlement with the NCAA, what that exactly means. I'm glad he went through some of the details and what is left to come. And Hays covered up an awful lot of the NFL signings, including Evan Ingram in headline. That is where we've been. That is the cool down for today. Now, Loser Monday. Here's what we're going to do. J.J. LaSelva is going to go first.
Okay.
He's still the guest. He hasn't played in a lot of Loser Mondays, only one. I'm going second. You're going last because you're winning every damn thing, and I'm getting sick of it. I almost had you go fourth.
Yeah,
okay?
that sounds fair.
Just out of general principle. So here's the way it works. We're going to do golf for 5. We're going to do golf for 5 of these 8 events on Loser Monday. Loser Monday will wrap up in the summertime, so it won't go into football season. You can only use a golfer once for your 5 events.
And I'm keeping track.
You'll keep a track of which golfers are first and foremost. So, J.J. LaSelva, he hails from North Ocala, was a third baseman there. We all know that by now. Brooks Robinson, Mike Schmidt, J.J. LaSelva, those are the 3 third basemen of note. George Brett's in there.
Chipper Jones.
J.J. LaSelva, you have the floor. You can only use them one time this year, J.J. Be strategic here. Who do you like to win the 2025 Players' Championship?
This is actually my 4th. With you guys.
Okay.
But that's okay.
Well, it's your first,
for full season.
Full season.
Yes. I'm going to go with
we acquired you mid-season.
That's right.
I'm going to go with Ludwig here. I'm going to go with Ludwig Aberg as my number 1 pick. It sucks that I can't take him for any of the majors, but I'm going with Oberg.
Well,
That's a great pick.
Well, how about that? I would have told you I was planning to pick him. Just call me nutty. I thought you were going to take that Scheffler guy.
I don't trust him yet.
You didn't? Okay. Ludwig Oberg, who plays a lot here, lives in Nocatee.
The home field advantage.
Yes. So guess what I'm going to
do? the board just sort of opened up for you, didn't it?
I always say, I like the board to come to me. Listen to the board. Hey, you got to listen to the board. Call me nutty. I'm going to take Scotty Scheffler out of the University of Texas. Oberg off the board, Scheffler off the board. We now turn to Hays Carlyon. He hails from the Bowl School. What say you?
Yeah, those are 2 outstanding picks, and it certainly makes it quite intimidating knowing that I have to pick a golfer that is not going to finish 3rd in that group. I am going to stay with the hot hand. I'm going to go Colin Morikawa. He had the disappointing Sunday at Bay Hill, but I thought he played outstanding. This course really should suit him better. He hasn't had a great track record here. He's still just 28, but hasn't been overly successful here to this point in his career. But such a great iron player, and he's been in such great form. 2 runner-up finishes already this year. Obviously, we know he can do it in big moments. He's won a couple of majors. So, boy, I don't feel great about it because you guys obviously you guys got who could be the winner and runner-up here. But I will do my best to hang in with Colin Morikawa.
My prediction is it was going to go Scheffler, Oberg, Morikawa. It is. It went Oberg, Scheffler, Morikawa. So there you go. Here's what I will tell America today as you all listen across the globe. That one of us is carrying our ass to Bono's, okay?
That's right.
So on Monday. So there will be Bono's Fair on Monday. One more time, J.J. Ludwig Oberg, a very, very good emerging player, young player. I'll take
outstanding in his debut here last year.
Yes, he was. I'll take Scotty Scheffler, the 2-time champion.
Yeah, he's got a good history here too.
He does. He does. Hey, and guess what? And a recent history.
Yeah.
And you'll take Colin Morikawa, who, by the way, played so well last week.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a shame for him that he didn't win because he played so well. So that is our first Loser Monday of the year. And we will we'll see how people do. I can't wait. I love Loser Monday.
I know, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and by the way, I will say this: the pressure's off if one of the three. The pressure's off for the other two if one of the three don't make the cut. But it's way more fun when they're all playing.
But we have had such a poor track record of that. I mean, going back to when it used to be Gibby and Lauren and you and me. I mean, it was like it was so rare where all 4 of our players would make it to the weekend.
Was it Dustin Johnson? We were at the yards.
Oh yeah, that was great. The defending champion at the Masters, who can't beat Ian Woosnam. Misses the cut.
JJ, one of the great moments ever. We were doing live shows on Friday from the yards in Ponte Vedra, watching the Friday play, and Dustin Johnson was just spiraling downhill. And we were all there, and to watch the Hays Carlyon meltdown.
It was agony.
Knowing it was even better than the Bryson DeChambeau missing the cut at Brucci's.
Yeah, there's been a couple.
But I thought DeChambeau missing the cut at Brucci's would not be topped until DJ missed the cut at the yards.
Yeah, the highlight of DeChambeau's meltdown.
Chris Reimer, by the way, still talks about maybe one of the happiest days of his life.
Oh, I was physically ill watching Dustin Johnson. I thought that was one of those that I was literally cartwheeling to the victory lane with the defending champ and misses the cut, which is just ridiculous. But the Bryson DeChambeau one, I think, might be number 1 for me in terms of agony because that was around 5 years ago when golf was the only thing going.
Yeah, that's
because it was like the first thing to come back, and that was unfortunate when I cursed in front of that little kid that I didn't know was there. When DeChambeau elected to hit a shot while his ball was resting against a fence.
And he dropped a blank bomb, and there was the little kid. That was tremendous. Oh, my goodness. One more thing before we say hello to Rick.
That kid's still talking about that movie.
I have no doubt. Before we say hello to Rick, realize it was 5 years ago today we were out here at the Players.
Isn't that amazing?
When the world shut down. When the world shut down for the pandemic. I didn't realize it was 5 years ago today.
Yeah.
And so much in the world has changed. Really, so much in the world has changed that never went back. I mean, people working remotely from home. There's a lot of the world has changed. A lot of stuff came back, but still one of the most impactful year and a half. Would you say? 2-3 years.
It's by far the biggest event that's ever occurred in my life.
In our lifetime,
in terms of changing your
the most impactful
day in day out routine,
and affected our world.
Oh, without a doubt, nothing's ever come close to it.
I mean, it really hasn't. We talk about this on our golf course, and we say it jokingly. The best thing to us that came out of COVID is now, at least at our club, everybody has their own golf cart. Because remember we did that at first. Well, now when you play Jack's Golf, almost every group, everyone one guy to a cart.
Nice.
I gotta love it. I don't want you in my golf cart. I'm gonna go play
I
by
don't
myself.
blame you.
But I mean that never happened before. You always paired up,
right?
So that's so. But anyway, it's interesting.
Yes, thank goodness we are through it.
Thank goodness we came out of it. Let's say hello to Rick below.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Rick, we are on the eve of the 2025 players. At what time during your program are you going to make your pick? Because I need to be listening for that.
We've got some football stuff we're going to start with. I still have one more channel I got to take this through. And I'm trying to figure out what these guys are going to do here on the eve of the tournament. Are they going to be old school and go out and run and rip and find the brown bottle, or are they going to go hit balls, work out, look at their, study with their swing coach, etc. So, I'll make it coming up, but, what a couple of days it's been, and apparently it's going to be that way over the next 4. At least I hope it is. I never check the weather. Just really excited about the Players' Championship.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Real quick thought before you tell us what's coming up. What'd you make of Evan Ingram to the Broncos? What'd you think of that?
I think he's got a lot of football left. I do. I mean, he's the one that I would have kept. I would have said goodbye to Christian Kirk. I would have kept Ingram. We kept hearing, does he fit into this Liam Cohen offense? But, he let a go-by tweet out, if you will, and I think he believes he's got some good football left as well. So I think it's a nice move here for the Broncos.
All right, what's coming up tonight?
We got an awful lot tonight. Nick Baumgartner is going to join us in about 30 minutes. The very latest now after the Jaguars' 9 free agent picks, or selections, I should say, and/or signings. What are they now going to do in free agency? In the draft, it still feels like it's going to be a defensive tackle, but we'll get his opinion from The Athletic. He'll be our first guest, and we got a lot to do here over the next 2 hours.
All right, Rick. Thanks, buddy.
See ya.
Rick Ballou goes into the night right now. That'll do it for our program. The next time you hear from us, a lot of the Jaguar new players will have spoken. Hays will be down there talking to some of the players. James Gladstone, the general manager, will have spoken. We will play some of those some of those thoughts for you. And we'll be live at the Players' Championship. Round 1 is in the morning, and I can't wait. Don't go anywhere. Rick Ballou is next. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful